All right, let's talk about something we all think about: money. And more importantly, that feeling of peace we think it's supposed to buy. We're going to dive into that complicated relationship today and ask a really tough question. Why is it that a bigger bank account doesn't always equal more peace of mind? Come on, you've probably thought this right. If I just had X amount of money, I could finally relax. We all do it. We pick this magic number out of the air and we convince ourselves it's the key to everything: security, relaxation, just finally being able to take a deep breath. It becomes this finish line we're all sprinting towards. But here's where the story takes a turn. You actually do it. You hit the goal, you reach that number you've been chasing for years, and you're just waiting for this wave of relief to wash over you. And instead, nothing. Or worse, this kind of nagging emptiness. That was definitely not part of the plan. And you realize that finish line? Yeah, it's a moving target. The second you get there, the goalposts just shift. That piece you were promised is always just over the next hill. And then the next one. You're basically trapped in this endless race, a hamster wheel with no off-ramp. So let's break this down. The promise is so clear, right? More money means security, peace of mind, relaxation. But the reality? For a lot of people, it's the total opposite. It's constantly comparing yourself to others, this endless pressure to keep up, and yeah, that empty feeling again. There's this huge gap between what we're sold and what we actually get. And this brings us to a really core idea. Money can't actually buy a feeling. You can't just purchase happiness or peace. What it can buy is options. It gives you more choices, for sure. But, and this is the critical part, it has zero control over how you feel when you're making those choices. I mean, think about it like this. You can buy a fancy vacation, right? That's an option money gives you. But if you're restless and anxious, you're not leaving that stuff at home. You're literally just packing your restlessness right there in your luggage. You're just stressed out in a more beautiful location. Your inner world travels with you no matter what. Okay, so if just chasing a bigger number in your bank account isn't the answer, then what is? This is the big question, right? And the answer, it turns out, has nothing to do with accumulating more. It's all about alignment. And that alignment has a name: congruence. It's a pretty powerful idea. It's just a state of harmony. It's when what you do, what you say, and what you believe all point in the same direction. It's when your money, how you spend it, how you save it, is a perfect reflection of what truly matters to you. So how do we actually get there? Well, the path kind of boils down to 3 key steps. First, we've got to find that congruence. Second, we need to set some limits. And third, and this is a big one, we have to value the priceless. All right, step 1, finding congruence. This is all about being intentional. It's about flipping the script. Instead of asking, how can I make more money, you start asking, how can I use the money I have to build a life that actually feels meaningful? See the difference? It's about building a meaningful life, not just a fatter wallet. Now, step 2. This might be the toughest one, especially today. It's having the courage to just say enough, to consciously step off that hamster wheel and decide what enough looks like for you. That's how you protect yourself from the nonstop noise of social media and that constant pressure to just keep chasing. And that leads us right into the 3rd step: valuing the stuff you can't put a price tag on. The quote says it perfectly, you know? For my children, it matters if I'm present, if I listen, if we laugh together. Real peace, real wealth is found in those simple moments you can never, ever buy. Okay, so when you put these 3 steps together, it leads to this one huge, absolutely game-changing shift in how you see money. For so long, we've been taught to believe that money is the goal. It's the destination, the prize at the end of the race. But that whole way of thinking, it's a trap. Because here's the shift. Money is not the goal, it is the instrument. It's a tool, like a hammer or a paintbrush, that you can use to build the life you actually want. Its real value isn't the number on the statement, it's how well you use it to create a life that lines up with your values. And this is where it gets really practical. When you start seeing money as a tool, your budget changes. You're not just budgeting for rent and groceries anymore. You start actively budgeting for the important stuff: time with your family, experiences that help you grow, taking care of your health and well-being. Your budget stops being a list of expenses and becomes a blueprint for a life you actually want to live.
Now, look, this doesn't mean you just throw your financial plan out the window. A plan is absolutely crucial, but you have to remember that saving and investing, those are just the mechanics. Happiness isn't some final item you get to check off your to-do list. The truth is, it was never even on the list to begin with.
So it's really worth asking yourself this simple question. With all the time and energy you're spending, what are you actually running for? And if your gut answer is just for the money, well, it might be a sign that it's time to dig a little deeper. So I want to leave you with this to think about. When you imagine peace, what role is money playing in that picture for you? Is it the ultimate goal, or is it just the tool to get you there? And maybe, just maybe, how much of that restless feeling we all get comes not from not having enough money, but from giving it way too much power in the first place?